Today I bring a special spooky Halloween, spooky season, scary, weird project for you. I decided to make my very own Annabelle doll. It was meant to be put in a dollhouse, but it turned out to be too big. So instead, I might have to put it in a Christmas tree. So I'm all about reusing or repurposing materials for another project. So I ended up having some extra balsa wood or some past balsa wood that I used for a different project that I repurposed for the box for the doll to sit in. And I think I used some fresh clay and some clay that was previously used in a different project, but I, sliced it out already. That's what I mean by that. But, the fabrics were repurposed fabrics, and it's so funny. I didn't have any cotton, so I decided to use the nylon spider webs you get in the Halloween store this time of year for the stuffings for the doll. So just improvise. When I can say as an amateur artist is what you don't have, just find something else that'll work. You could even use tissue, maybe. I don't know. So as you see here, I'm continuing the doll face. I'm using a little bit of white clay for the outline of the black eyes, just like you see in the real doll. The small red nose, and later I make the mouth and the eyebrows. I try to keep it as simple as possible, but to make it look like the original doll as well. I didn't put in the eyelashes. That was going to be too difficult. I found that to make it a true 1:12 ratio for a dollhouse, I just don't have the I don't have the experience to make that small of a puppet, a little doll. So maybe in time I can make it more of a dollhouse size. But for this size, I would say it's, I don't know, double double the size of dollhouse size right now. It'll be perfect for a Christmas tree, as I was mentioning before. It's amazing to me how something as small as just a little lump of clay with a happy face on it makes this feel so warm and happy. This Raggedy Ann looks so cute. So this doll isn't much. I got a simple face and even simpler little noodles here I'm making for little arms and making little legs, and it's really meant to be just a little stuffed doll with little hands and little feet. And here's that repurposed material I used, and the body is actually one of those little 112 little flower bags you get for like a kitchen scene for your dollhouse or something, and that was fun to use to repurpose it for the body of the doll. And I'm not much of a sewer, but I managed to sew pretty good for this product here. And here's some of that nylon spider web. Again, I found it was completely perfect to use for this type of project. So I would say this is the first time I've done any sewing since high school. I just sewed these little pants onto the doll's body, and I sewed it, I think, pretty good. I had to do some repair work after I got some stuffing in there and really just kind of shored up all of my stitches. It was an enjoyable experience, but I can't imagine trying to do this any smaller for the 1:12 ratio. The last time I did so was a high school project. I made a little teddy bear. That was so funny, the experience of it. I held it onto it for a while. It was very poorly stuffed and it was very poorly stitched, but I guess I can learn from my mistakes from it. So the stuffing was definitely an experience for me. Every time that I thought I had enough stuffing, I ended up not having enough stuffing. So I was really impressed how much stuffing a little doll takes. I just kept using my little plastic clay tool actually to stuff it into the pants legs there. And yeah, I just kept checking my work and just looking at it, thinking of my poor teddy bear from high school, making sure I had enough. So I guess we can call this an artist rendition of Raggedy Ann, Annabelle doll. I clearly don't have the typical Raggedy Ann fabrics to make the doll, so I just used, again, what I have. Don't worry about, what how closely it looks to the original product. Just make it your own and do whatever you can. So I'm sure there's a better way to put the feet on a doll. A more experienced doll maker can definitely comment and give me some pointers. All I decided to do was just make sure I had enough stuffing completely, and then I just used some glue, and I just you just shoved the feet in and stuck the glue in. It seemed to work pretty well, especially since, again, it's going to be on display. It's not going to be a doll that's going to be used. That made things a little bit easier for me to do this project for a first time doll making. So at this stage, I have already baked the head. I wanted to make sure the eyes and the nose and mouth stayed put while I put on the hair. I just took some red clay and got it all nice and warmed up and ready to go to make the hair. And I went in 3 sections. I went with the top part, and I used my X-Acto knife to make little partitions in the bangs. And then I just made 2 more parts for the sides and a very simple plain side for the back of the head for the red hair. So I was trying to figure out a way to tie this doll into looking more like Raggedy Ann. The original Raggedy Ann doll has this like shawl over or something over her shirt. And I was trying to figure out how to make that. I was trying to explore that. What I was actually using there was a piece of one of my daughter's old skirts that I saved for crafting. This is some reclaimed balsa wood from a previous project that I ripped out and kept for just something like this. The doll, again, is so massive for a real dollhouse, but I was still able to make something work with some old balsa wood. So I'm just, basically shaping it to the size of the doll. I was trying my best to keep the edges as clean as possible from all the excess wood glue. I just smashed it right there on my hand. That's kind of one of my dirty habits as an artist. It's so funny to me that it says warning, positively do not open. The original box says it, so I'm going to say it too. And what's funny here, guys, is the doll is sitting on the original box that I had meant for her. So that just goes to show how tiny she was supposed to be. But there she is in her glory, looking very spooky with the dirty glass and the sign. Okay, so you saw the whole process. The doll, the clothing for the doll, the box for the doll. I'm really impressed with what I managed to do. I haven't sewed in a long time. I don't do that much with polymer clay, but I think this can open the door for new possibilities for me with both. I can be more craftsy and be more willing to try. I think that's the biggest thing that everyone needs to do. If you're interested in crafting, you just gotta give yourself that chance to try. You have to be brave. You have to be brave to try sometimes and just go for it. The worst thing that can happen is it looks terrible and you throw it away. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a pleasure to make it for you. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and I'll see you at my next video.